Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season 11. We're here for round 5 out of 20. It's the Qatar Grand Prix. We're here for qualifying at Lusail. Got 12 drivers at the moment. Still waiting on one more, I think, of Christian. Don't know if he's going to get in on time. But that is, unfortunately, Birdie Saints already retiring from the session as he's left the session. So that's unfortunate luck for him. Don't know whether he forgot his setup or he needed one or what, but it looks like he's going to start this race from the back of the grid then. Right, so drivers on the roster tonight. We have IGTC, or Josh, finally back in the car. There's Christian. Hopefully he'll join at the end of quali. So we have Josh, who did the opening round, finished second, has missed the last 3 races. So he's back in the car, hoping to challenge at the front. We have Adam, who is the opposite of Josh. He missed the first 3 races and did his first race of the season last week and got P2. So these two doing the same performances. We've got Charlie once again attending. He'll be hoping to score his second points finish after Australia. We've got Bluey, who'll be hoping to score even more points after the few he's got so far this season, making it hopefully another double points finish for RB. We've got Chubster, same boat really as Adam and Josh. 1 race, P2, 18 points. They're all tied on 18 points. You can see that line already appearing for the grip. It was going to be another 8 points on top of that, but on the penultimate or third last lap of Saudi last week, he unfortunately clipped the wall at turn 4 and took himself out of the race. We've got Samurai, the returning championship leader. Finishing P5 last time out was enough to overcome that 7-point deficit he was behind. So he heads into Qatar with a 3-point lead. We have Grush, who's been consistently scoring points in every single race so far this season. And that's earned him, I believe, 4th or 5th in the standings. Bit of a note, Kobe, who won last week, is unfortunately missing quite a few races. Around about anywhere from 4 to 6 due to an operation, so I hope that goes well for him, and he'll be back at some stage near the halfway point as Birdie's going to join and realise his car's retired, unfortunately. We have Frosty Life in the McLaren, solid P5 in the opening race, then it's slowly been a bit downhill since then, so he's going to hope that this race or one of the next few propels him upwards. We've got Nathan, who's actually got the longest points finish streak of any driver in the Tier 2 field of 9 races in a row now. So he'll be hoping to make that double digits as he closes ever more towards being the next Centurion of EXFL Tier 2. It's like 97 races now. And Evan, who was the championship leader, crashed at turn 4 early on and retired from the race due to losing his wheel. So he's going to try and bounce back today as it's a Mercedes 1-2 with Eggy currently nearly a 10th and a half ahead of Chubster. So yeah, expect Christian to join the session sometime from now to the end. Samurai pops in a lap time of a 23.0, nearly 4 tenths off the 2 Mercedes. That's actually not bad considering his run of first runs in the session. They're usually like 2 seconds off. And then he'll go again on the same set and improve. What would be a good lap time? I mean, time trials anywhere from low 20s, low 21s, mid 21s. Scrooge puts a lap time good enough for third. I'd expect pole to be a low 22. I'd even expect it to be in the 21s, to be honest. But who's going to lay down that kind of marker? It seems like Evan's the right choice for that. He'll cross the line, 22-1, and that is the gap, half a second. But there are quicker cars out there, such as Josh. It's the first time this season we've been able to see people like Josh, Adam, and Evan, who are really good in qualifying, all go head to toe. So Adam, who was fighting Kobe all throughout last week, made a mistake, and that allowed Kobe in the closing stages to win the race. Adam will be hoping to go on better this week, and Josh has gone into the pit lane. 30.4, great. Look at that. Besides Evan, he was on for a good run, at least the first sector. So that's interesting. Samurai, like I said, has gone again, and only just over 2.5 tenths off now. But Charlie, first sector split, 30.7, lacking about 3 to 4 tenths off Evan. And if I am not mistaken, I believe this is a history-making race, as Frosty Life, our Mano, enters his 133rd Grand Prix in EXFL Tier 2, which ties him as the most experienced driver we have ever had, as Seb, the Season 9 champion, and Frosty are now tied on 133 races entered, so as long as he starts the race, I guess. He will be up there, and then next week, or whenever his next race is, he will become the most familiar face we have ever had in the 200 odd Tier 2 races we've had. Frosty has been there for a good, I don't know, 70, 60, 70% of them. And it's always great to see. He's had a fine, a remarkable career. A very nice career in Tier 2 so far, and I'm sure he would love to carry on that momentum he built up upon at the end of last season. This season it seems like it's taken a bit of a step back, but I'm sure at tracks like Qatar, I think, but mainly the ones more towards the end of the season, Netherlands, USA, Brazil, the ones he's good at, he'll show some form of experience and get that McLaren up there. As Nathan's finishing the first set to split. Don't know if he's made a mistake or whatnot, because that is a couple seconds off. Josh on and out lap, so he's going to go again. What about Adam? He's up by 2 tenths, so this could be provisional pole for Adam. So close to the white lines there. It's so easy to invalidate around here, and I'm sure 3-second penalties are going to be quite common in the race. Usually I always say race pace is closer than quali pace. This might be the one excuse, or one of a few excuses this season where that might be the opposite, as Adam decides to back out of that lap with 9 minutes 20 to go. That was, at least from the second sector, going to be the new provisional pole time. But anyway, a lap of the Qatar circuit, right on board with IGTC, diving down into turn 1, heavy braking, hugging the inside, maintaining the throttle, and then doing the same thing, just the opposite way for 2. Get on the power. 3's flat, you don't need to worry about it. But 4 and 5, you need such commitment and precision to not invalidate and gain as much time as possible. As he finishes the first set split, 30.5 exactly, lacking about 1/10.5 to Evan, navigating his way through the hairpin. This track is all about just maintaining speed and being precise and getting on the power as confidently as possible through the tight, twisted kinks. Bit of a heavy braking corner to the left. Doesn't quite hit the apex there. Will exit the corner and then finish the second set to split. Will be a 58-1. Looks like it's been a good middle though. And then what seems to be going on and on and on for 3 or 4 right-handers. And then suddenly you're flicking it left. How much commitment to get right up close to the white line. 1 corner to go. Make or break stuff. And you want to really go on the inside, but also gain the traction and speed. And now just foot flat to the floor. And it'll be a 1 minute 22.7. And it's P6 with that lap time. it seems like that's not everything he's got out there for Josh. I'm pretty sure there's definitely more time in that for him. What about Eggy? I don't know if he's just crossed the line or he's going again. I'm pretty sure he's going again. Into turn 1. We'll see what Eggy can do then. Never had a pole position in EXFL Tier 2. Has qualified on the front row 2 times. And he's taken the first 3 corners very nicely indeed. As that's Samurai also starting a lap. Evan, Adam and Grush still in the pit lane. Eggy needs at least half a tenth improvement or something to find himself ahead of Grush. And he's found a 10th, which is half a tenth slower than what Josh did. Taking a lot of curb on the inside there. Might be a bit more of a poor middle. But it seems like the last sector is where Eggy's doing well. Once again, like Josh, missing the apex there a bit. 58-1 was Josh's middle sector to split. 58-1 for Eggy. Yet he's up by a tenth. So it does seem like it was the last sector for Josh where he lost out. It could generally just be as simple as battery, really. He could have ran out here or something and then on the run to the line just lost so much time because he didn't have the deployment. But for Eggy, can he get it into 4th? Yes, he can. He improves by a tenth, which was the whole gap the entire lap. So it was very consistent from him. What about Samurai? He's up by half a second, but the RB ahead of him may have just cost him some time. So this, if it didn't cost him any time, is going to be a brilliant lap from Samurai. But how much did the RB cost him? Across the line for Samurai, and it's only by 19 thousandths. Samurai must have lost so much time in the end. Whoops. Yeah. That pretty much sums it up. Wow, 2.5 tenths. So who was that RB? Was it Bluey or Nathan? It was Bluey. That's gonna hurt his chances. Adam, oh, it says he's invalidated, and Evan will be doing 1 run at the end, and yeah, that's gonna hurt Samurai's chances. He was definitely gonna get into the 21s with that if he didn't lose his 2 and a bit tenths. Right, well, Christian's got 5 minutes to join. Eggy back in. Grush on an outlap. Frosty up there in 8th. Charlie with a spin. Bluey invalidated. And Nathan hasn't set a lap time yet. And even though Martin's not on a push lap, he's still stuck with Bluey. So there's a bit of a calm before the storm at the moment. Yeah, Charlie was on a lap before that spin. That corner can catch you out, to be fair. And will Adam be peeling off into the pit lane, or will he be going again? Nope. So 4 minutes to go then, and I'm sure they'll all be heading out soon. Grush has headed out a bit early because he's about to start a lap. And Frosty Life has just started his lap. So, nice purple helmet heading into turn 1. And completely misses the apex, unfortunately. See if he could salvage any more lap time through turn 2. Might be running a bit low wings because the car, he's turning a bit normal for the corners, as you can see, but the thing's just not really hooking up. Nonetheless, he's still found a 10th and a half. That was better through the hairpin. Sparks flying underneath, really attacking the corners. Just trying to gain some precision, but that's a bit wide, and that is unfortunately invalidated from Frosty Life. Yeah, I'm going to assume either he's braking too late, or he's turning too late, or if it's not that and he's doing everything fine, it's his setup. Look at that, half a second. May have gained a little bit from the track extension, but we know there's half a second in it, which would actually only keep him where he is. What about Grush? Let's look back to him. 30.2 in the first sector. Very nice first sector from Grush. 57.8 in the middle as well. So this could propel him up to third potentially. Can he find enough time for even the front row or even pole position? 2 minutes 30. Everyone else is exiting the pit lane to set their last lap. And Grush will lay down one of his markers around the final corner. I think he's qualified a best career of 5th. And I'm pretty sure that will be higher than this. 4th for Grush. I think he lost a little bit of time in the last sector. But it's a solid lap nonetheless to put himself on the second row. Samurai exiting the pit lane just in front of Chubster. Charlie, with 2 minutes to go, is now only just getting wheeled in. So that's his session over. Bluey about to begin his lap. Nathan just ahead of him into turn 1 on his lap. And Grush, is he fueled enough for one more run? I'd be surprised if he is. Because you don't typically improve on a second run around here. The tyre wear is a bit out of control. It's a bit high. And is Josh just going for 2 outlaps? Getting the temps up. Maybe you think he has enough time. We shall see. So yeah, like I said, Birdie, as long as the 2 RBs get a lap in, we'll start this race from last. Christian, I'll just quickly message him. Oh, never mind. Perfect timing. He's joined. He will definitely not have enough time to get a lap in. As long as he can join, put his setup on, blah, 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 get in his McLaren, we'll be good. Right, Adam starting his lap. We can see the Sauber in front, exiting the pit lane. Charlie, but he's not going to make it across the line with 50 seconds to go. So he may as well get out of the way of Adam as he's gone off into the gravel there. Has to be careful on the rejoin. Cutting a bit close. Adam will have been taking a note of that. But he's trying to give it absolutely everything. On the curb, being precise. He's 2 tenths down nearly. What has he got in store in the first sector? He's got 3 tenths in the locker. A 30.2 for Adam. It seems like the first sector was his struggle so far this session. But now he's putting it all on the table there. And he's delivering a great lap so far. He's halfway done with it. Can he hit the apex just about, riding the white line there, using all the track on the exit. And we'll see what he can do in the middle sector split. It's going to be a 57.5. He's up by half a second. And he's absolutely flying as Adam. 2 poles to his name towards the end of last season. First race of his season last week. Finishes second and is invalidated, unfortunately. Oh, that was going to be a blinder of a lap. Could have been a mid-21. And it's all about who can just keep it valid. Evan behind, right close to the white line. Samurai's invalid, so could Evan snatch pole position, the 3rd of the season and his career? Might even get a little bit of a slipstream from Adam across the line for Evan. It's going to be a 1:21.4, and Adam's time would have been right there, but because he invalidated, the gaps are so detrimentally huge. And who else will really challenge that? What about Josh? 2 tenths up in the first with a 30.2, so he might be able to fight. As that's Grush up to 3rd, and then Chubster up to 3rd with the improvements. Look how close that was. Adam is going to really be kicking himself. 57.7 for Josh. So this could see him close to the 1st or 2nd rows. And that is such a disappointment for Adam, because that would have definitely been the front row at the minimum. But can Josh now have any chance at the front row? 21.4, time to beat. It's a 22.0, and he does go to the front row. 1/4 of a tenth ahead of Samurai. So Adam will be extremely annoyed with that, to miss out. And that does mean Evan takes pole by quite a margin. Would have only been about 10th or so ahead of Adam. So even after retiring, Birdie still manages to qualify 11th, because Bluey didn't manage to get a lap time in. And Christian obviously joined late. Yeah, big pole gap for Evan. The 2nd in the championship, hoping to get it back ahead of Samurai. They're split by Josh. Two to 8. Wow. What a first sector from Evan. It really was all in that first sector. He must have nailed it. He did a 0.9. It was all in that first sector. I mean, Evan, right at the end, proving why he's fighting for this championship, could just string a lap together when it's needed. Well, Adam's got some work to do. I think it actually was Qatar last season, when it was at the end of the calendar, that he took pole at. Well, he definitely won. Yeah, it was. Yeah, he won. He didn't take pole. Right then. Formation lap begins. Very interesting. Everyone's on the hard compound tyres, apart from Josh, who's decided to start on the softs. No mediums, just everyone on hards and then him on the quickest tyre. So I would fully expect that he would take the lead into turn 1, being on 2 compounds better than Evan. And I might half expect that he would pull away, but we know Evan's got really good pace too. And that's Josh already practicing his overtakes on Evan. So his plan will be to overtake him, gap him, destroy those softs to try and make a gap, pit early, and will he do the 2-stop? Is that even possible to go soft hard? I don't think so. The rest will probably be doing hard medium. Josh, I would assume, would probably be doing soft medium medium. I really don't see how that's going to be a 1-stop. They're going to see that explains it. The softs are just not going to last that long. And if Evan can keep with him at the start, then that's a lot of his strategy kind of downhill. And he's going to start falling down the order. So he needs to make sure the first 2 or 3 laps are crucial. I mean, look at the mini-map. He's just not waiting around for the rest. As his teammate, Charlie, on his own has been disqualified. Usually it's 2 people, but oh well. So Eggy getting out qualified by Chubster. Good lap from Chubster. I mean, he was very close around this part of the grid. And Adam has lost 4 places due to that invalidation. So he could have been right up there on the front row with Evan. But for now, he's got some work to do. So Josh settles into his grid slot. Same with Evan. Parking up. Evan actually stopped quite early and has actually been disqualified. That's going to help Josh. It's very, very certain Josh will take the lead into turn 1. If he doesn't, that's going to really ruin his chances. But the rest are lining up on the grid then. We're just waiting for Bluey. There he is. And we'll get the Qatar Grand Prix underway. Round 5 of the season. After today, we'll be a quarter of the way done. And we wait for the 5 red lights under the night sky here at Qatar. It's lights out and away we go. Evan versus Josh off the line. And Josh already into the lead by the leaderboard. And Samurai in the slipstream of Evan too. Josh takes the lead into turn 1. Single file for the top 4. Slight contact with Chubster and Samurai. That's actually going to allow Chubster to get ahead as we see the McLaren going off. Samurai to the inside. Make sure it isn't a push to pass. Adam gets ahead of Grush. Eggy stays where he is. What a start from Christian, up 3 places as he's fighting away with the RB of Nathan for P9 and P10 as it's Josh, Evan, Samurai. Going wide there is Adam in 5th. Chubster, Adam, Grush, Eggy, the 2 McLarens, and down the inside as spinning out in the background is Charlie as that's Grush fighting away with Adam. We're going very wide as the other RB of Bluey as Frosty's up ahead of Eggy now, and that's Birdie and P10. Then the 2 RBs very near one another, even after one went to Narnia, and Charlie has been spun off, whether that's on his own or not. It's a Sauber sandwich. And I'm going to assume the biggest gainer is definitely Christian. 3 places up from where he started. So, yep, Josh did exactly what he needed to. And yeah, wow. I mean, I thought Evan's pace would keep him at least within a second for the first lap. Nope, double that nearly. Josh, 2-second lead. That just shows the pace advantage of being 2 steps softer with your tyres. So Josh has perfected that first lap, and that's exactly what he needs to keep doing before those softs really fall off the cliff. Evan, just keeping at bay at the moment, ahead of Samurai and Chubster. Adam, they're all single file. No sorts of battling into turn 1, and that's unfortunate for Charlie there. I have no idea what happened. He just spun off at turn 4. He just went in there backwards as Christian already gets the first penalty of the evening. That is probably one of his more weaker properties of a driver. Yeah, remember, what was it? Bahrain. He was up there, but then penalties just let him down a little. As Samurai's trying to stick with Evan, who's clearly not fighting this too much. He's keeping the gap constant to Josh. Chubster doing well. There's a podium on the line here, but Adam has already got past Grush. That's 1. And it looks like Chubster will be the next one. And with DRS enabled on the start-finish straight, and Chubster not quite within a second of Samurai, and feeling the pressure of Adam, this will allow the Haas to have a potential move on him. 1.8, still how it is. As you can see Evan using his battery. Josh not deploying everything. 26.1 for Josh, 26.0 for Evan. See Adam behind, blasting his battery. But we can also see Chubster blasting his, trying to stay ahead of the Haas. Adam gaining in the slipstream with the Mercedes, trying to go to the inside. Chubster covers it off for now as Nathan and Birdie are fighting away. Chubster placing his car where he needs to. And Nathan gets ahead of Birdie into P10. And Bluey close to the back of the Alpine as well. Look further back. Adam all over the back of Chubster, but the dirty air hindering him slightly. And the top 2 in the World Championship, 2nd and 3rd, are going to be closing in on Josh soon. As soon as his softs start to fall off a bit, which I could probably think is as early as next lap. Yep. Samurai knows he's leading the championship by 3 points ahead of Evan. So he needs to stick with him and see what he can do. The things that have let him down this season, mainly his strategic decisions of mainly 2 stopping instead of 1 stopping. Well, at least he's behind Evan this time and can just do whatever he does. But if he wants to beat him, he might have to try something different. 1.3 now, and actually Evan's got Samurai out of a second. So I don't think he'll have DRS. He does not. As the RB right there is the detection zone, right where Bluey's just crossed. But Samurai still sets the fastest lap of the race by I think 2,000ths, and in the background that is an easier chance than last lap. Adam up in a 4th past Chubster. So now it's Adam's turn to try and close back within a second of Samurai, who's closed within a second again of Evan. And yeah, a lot of them really not blasting too much. I mean, besides Adam, he's really trying to get a move on. It looks like Eggy's just lacking a bit of pace at the moment. Stuck between the 2 McLarens. You'd expect everyone to go long into this race. Everyone bar 1 on the hards. Around lap 16 to 19, something like that. Definitely past the halfway stage for mediums. So Josh will pit. He'll have quite an undercut. So when everyone's made their first round of stops, you'd expect Josh to still be in the lead. Or near there. Then he'll have to make 1 more stop. So as long as there's no safety car, Josh is going to be severely affected by this. And Frosty gets a pen. And Evan actually now gets a pen. I did not expect that. And that will be happy days for Samurai, seeing that appear, as they're all a bit separated at the moment. Adam does have DRS, and he's blasting absolutely everything, trying to get closer to Samurai. Look at that, 25-1. Adam absolutely pushing the limit. Using those hard tyres early on might affect him a little towards the end of the stint. But yeah, he's on the move. And he's really looking to close up to the back of Samurai. And now, because he is close, can save some battery. Or maybe blast a little bit more before he has to save into turn 4 and 5. Everyone just separated now, building their own race. Literally, this is only the top guys are within DRS of Samurai and Adam. And Evan looking to retake the lead that he lost in the first 100 meters of the race. But I'm very surprised Josh didn't push more, get a move on more, use a bit more battery to maybe hold on a lap or two more. Actually, that's a point. Anyone got any fuel light issues? Nope. I mean, Qatar's been an issue for drivers in the past in terms of fuel. 23 was the worst, 24 wasn't as bad, and I'm guessing 25 really isn't that much of an issue. But as we start lap 6 then, it seems like we're going to have a swap for the lead and potentially a swap for P3 as well. As Josh under pressure from Evan, who's in the slipstream. He's got the DRS. Birdie gets a 3-second. Evan pulls to the inside, and Evan will retake the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix. And behind him, Adam will get ahead of Samurai to be in P3 on the move, making up for his mistake in qualifying, where he would have qualified second. Well, he can see second right in front of him on dying softs. So Adam's done a really good job so far to make up for that. And yeah, considering Evan has a 3, considering Josh might have to do a 2-stop, it's not looking too bad for Adam to potentially get a second win at Qatar. Big lockup though into the hairpin. And what? Yeah, Qatar last season was only 7 races ago. So to have back-to-back victories, and they're both at Qatar, and they're both within 7 races, it's one of those, really. It's very rare you see that in EXFL, considering the calendar's usually pretty much the same. There's no usually big changes, but obviously for this season, Qatar is the biggest move. And it looks like we might have the same driver winning for 2 seasons in a row. But yeah, this is a good track for Adam, and it will bring him closer to the top guys. He needs a win, really, considering he's missed the first 3 races of the season. Evans nearly got Josh out of a second. Here we have a yellow, and that is Charlie for the second time in this race, having a spin, giving up. I don't really blame him. But yeah, that's unfortunately his race over. Oh, Evans left. As Birdie gets a penalty, Adam gets ahead of Josh, and now, because Evans unfortunately left the session, is going to be the lead of the Grand Prix for Adam. Started 6th, and now will lead the Qatar Grand Prix. Usually in Tier 2, they are quite noble drivers whenever stuff like this happens. They might give the advantage back, but because he's lost quite a lot of time, I highly doubt it will happen. And Samurai, for his sake, will try and get ahead of Evan before he gets back in the car. Such an unfortunate moment for Evan. Took the lead, and well, it was crucial as that. There it is. Samurai ahead of Evan. He's going to get back in his car soon. Ah. What an unfortunate moment for the Aston Martin. There he is. He's back in his car. And I'm pretty sure he can still do some damage. And like Adam, gain back what he lost. So, qualifying doesn't matter now for the Haas. He's driving absolutely superbly as he starts lap 8 in the lead. 1.6 seconds, 1.8 seconds ahead of Josh, who's ahead of Samurai, who doesn't have DRS. And now Evan's going to blast his battery to try and get back close to the leaders. Chubster going to be under pressure from Grush, who's blasting everything, trying to stick with the Mercedes there. Frosty 2 behind. Eggy just seems like he's losing about half a second a lap. And Christian, maybe even nearly a second a lap. Nathan holding down the 4 in P10. Birdie with 2 penalties. Bluey in P12 at the moment. About halfway, nearly halfway through their stint. Charlie says he got spun out on the opening lap. It looks like Josh is going to be making Sauber's day a bit more unfortunate, as it seems like Samurai is going to overtake him soon. But the more he gets held up here, the better Evan can close up. See there, yeah. 5 places gained for Adam. Christian 12th to 9th on the opening lap. Samurai all over the back of Josh. These two who fought for the win in Australia. These two we thought could fight for the title. And then Evan came along and all three of them are right near each other. Josh pits. And is this a chance for Evan to potentially overtake Martin? Top two in the World Championship heading into turn one. Is Evan going to try move on Samurai? Samurai goes defensive. Evan to the inside. They're going wheel to wheel. Slight contact between the Aston and the Williams. They're giving each other the space. And Evan now gets ahead of Samurai. And Evan, who seems to have the better pace of the two at the moment, will allow Samurai to maybe stick with him as he's going to try and close up to Adam. So yeah, only 8 laps in. And Josh has pitted from the softs to the mediums, and he will pit once more. Once all these guys have pitted. And look, he's down in 11th after all that. That's Bluey pitting. So yeah, Josh has got to get a move on. And first up is Birdie. And you can see just how much more grip he has. I'm going to go around the outside of the Alpine. Birdie really plants his foot on the throttle there to stay ahead. Josh goes off the track and he's got ahead as Birdie gets a pen. And yeah, there we go. Josh is giving it back. He knows that was an illegal. I was going to say that was an illegal overtake. I mean, it was naughty from the pair of them. Frosty penalty. Josh shouldn't have overtaken off track, but he made up for it. Is that? Nope, never mind. But that was a little naughty from Birdie, just planting the throttle mid-corner and shoving him off. But now we're seeing penalties galore happen now, as there's probably another warning for the Alpine. So Josh will just have to get him on the straight. He has the battery for it. Gap staying around the same between Evan and Adam. Samurai, I guess his worry is sticking within 3 seconds of Evan. Chubbs has got some good pace, and he's bringing Grush along with him. As that's Birdie into the pit lane. Only 10 laps in on the hards. I don't know if he's going to retire from the race or not, as he does have quite a few penalties. But yeah, that frees up Josh a little. Next up is Nathan. Softs. Okay. See, they're not using battery. They're both on 100%. See, Chubbs is actually closing a bit on Samurai. And Grush is sticking with him. And that's Josh getting past Nathan. That was an easier move on the RB. And 7 seconds down the road will be Christian. Because Josh knows this is for position. Everyone's going to have to pit one more time now. In the top 10, let's just say. So Josh knows he'll finish 9th. So he's got to really use these mediums to see what he can do. I'm sure he can catch Christian. I'm sure he can probably get Eggy. And considering Frosty's pens, I can see Josh finishing in 6th. But the top 5, that might be a bit out of reach. He's going to have to really hope for a VSC or a safety car. But around Qatar, the chances of a safety car are very low. Very low. But never 0. Fastest lap of the race then for Josh as Nathan's into the pit lane. So 2 McLarens, 1 Mercedes to at least try and get ahead. I'd say Frosty will be a challenge to actually get ahead on track, but with his penalties, that's what should allow Josh to close up to. Top guys all getting a bit separate now. Evan's taken 8/10 out of Adam in the last few laps. So it's going to be a really tough job for Evan to not only get up close to Adam, overtake him, get a 3-second gap to try and win the race, even after a disconnect. Remember in Bahrain, he spun on lap 2, leading the race, came back to win, and there's another penalty. Same corner. So as much as Evan's got great pace, he's exploiting the track limits to do so. And, well, another bigger smile for Samurai, as that could drop Evan all the way down to 5th if he's not careful. I'm sure by the end of the race, when the gaps eke out and whatnot, it might not do too much damage. I'm sure Evan can still probably get a podium, but yeah, only one of the top 5 with a penalty, and not even that with 2. Two RBs quite near to one another, both on the mediums. So even though they started on the hards, they're going for a 2-stop then. Interesting. So is it a struggle for these guys to make the hards last so long? Is Samurai really wanting to do a 2-stop potentially, but he's seeing these guys stay out, so he's having to put up with it, because we know Samurai does go through his tyre wear a bit more than others, like Japan, where I guess he had to make a second stop, and that's why he's losing time to Evan. Gap's staying how it is at the moment, as Christian is being overtaken by Josh into the hairpin. Seems simple enough. So that's P11 now for the Sauber, the one remaining Sauber in the race. Chubbs has got Grush out of a second, and he's lost a couple tenths to Samurai, but it does look like his tyres are fading a little, and they've still got to do at least 4 more laps, as that's a big slide from Evan on the final corner, which is going to lose him some momentum and a few tenths. It looks like he's trying to push, but also, and in the background, Frosty into the pit lane. So yeah, it looks like Evan was really trying to push there, but just a bit too much. Only 13 laps on the hards. And he's going to pit for mediums. So he's definitely got to do 2. That's really weird. You'd pit lap 9 or 10 if you're doing a 2-stop. Or like 10 or 13. You've nearly done half the race. What? I don't know. I do not know. But surely Frosty won't get to the end now on those mediums. So that's going to help Josh cement another place. You can see the bottom 5 all with penalties. Top 7. That's a 4th of the evening for Birdie. Yeah, besides Evan, top 7 are fine. 2 seconds now. Evan slowly closing on Adam, and well, it's the risk you take at the moment. This will be in like 3 or 4 laps time. If you pit 1 lap earlier than the guy ahead, yes, you might gain some time, but at the end of the race, the last lap or 2, will the fresher tyres be able to gain that advantage back? Most of the time, no. But you never know. Gap's 2 seconds then, as we're pretty much at the halfway stage of the race. 4 seconds to Samurai. Just like Evan's lapping about 3 tenths a lap quicker than Samurai at the moment. 3 or 4, something like that. Samurai's lapping about a tenth or 2 quicker. Then Chubster, that's Birdie around. And now he's in between both RBs. I'm pretty sure he was on his own. Was the Alpine, and now he's had a spin at a corner that can catch you out, to be fair. Those softs are not going to be lasting too long. Evans lost a few tenths at the in the first sector, but the hairpin he's gained a few back. So we have a look at the gaps. Josh is 26 seconds off the lead. I should have checked when he came out the pit lane what it was, but a pit stop seems a bit less than that, to be honest. He is lapping. Oh my god, that's a 3rd penalty for Evan. That's a spin for Bluey at turn 1 with Birdie. I want to put money on the fact that they probably had an incident. That is a 3rd penalty for Evan. Wow, he's really going to have to do some work. I mean, you never know. He could get 9 seconds over Samurai by the end and hold on to P2. Because the top 2 just seem to really have the pace at the moment over Samurai, who's... I'm fairly certain he's worn his tyres a bit too much. And at a track like this, it is very difficult, to be fair to me, because Chubbs is gaining on him now. It seems like Grush may have a similar issue as well. Eggy, again, just hasn't really had the pace at the moment to even fight at the front with those guys. That's not it. Fastest lap. There we go. Yes, the Eggy's fastest lap is in the 27s, and Adams is a full 2 seconds quicker than that. But these two are in the 25s, these guys in the 26s. Low 26s, high 25s. Besides Adam's absolutely loving this track. The gap was 26 seconds, the gap's now 25 seconds. But yeah, again, it's really not going to matter. Josh needs to make another stop. And I'm pretty sure he can get Eggy by the end. As that's birdie out in the pit lane. So it becomes 11. And the two RBs on the brisk of getting another double points finish at the moment. Only one of them will. Nathan, P10, trying to go for a 10th points finish in a row. And we're being 9 seconds out of Bluey. That's looking good so far. So the two RBs, then the two McLarens, and then Josh closing up. As that's into the pit lane for Evan and Samurai. 15 laps onto lap 16. Their mediums at the end are going to be in an interesting state. Okay, Evan's pulling the undercut out. He needed to. And Samurai copying exactly what Evan does, which is smart to be fair. And there we see Josh flying by, ahead of Samurai, ahead of Evan. But he's going to need to pit again soon. So the two Mercedes have stayed out along with Adam. So now it's foot on the floor time as the two McLarens swap. Frosty back in front of Christian. It was like Christian may have undercut Frosty there. I don't know. Has Christian not even pitted yet? Oh, he's not. Never mind then. Frosty's managed to get a whole pit stop on him. So Samurai, 7 seconds behind Evan. I don't know if Samurai missed his turn in or something, because it definitely wasn't that. It was 5. Okay, that's going to help Evan. He's nearly got the 9-second gap, but I'm pretty sure with how things have been going, Evan will probably get one more penalty or something. So he's got to watch himself with the warnings, and he might catch Josh at a pretty good time to overtake him, because he's trying to undercut Adam, and if Adam... Oh, I was going to say, if Adam wants to cover him off, he'll pit, but he's not. Adam thinks he has the pace to go longer, have the mediums, not destroy them by the end. And, you know, he's got a buffer, to be fair to him. He's got, technically, as much as there was a 2-second gap to Evan, it's an 11-second gap, as that's Chubster in for the mediums. So, yeah, Adam, he knows what to do. He knows that Evan has those penalties. So he knows he can sacrifice a bit of lap time. He doesn't have to win the race on track. All that matters is that he wins. Chubster exits the pit lane. There's Frosty Life. And Frosty Life is ahead of the Mercedes round the outside. And, well, when did he pit? 4 laps ago. Well, that's the power of the undercut right there. So Frosty ahead of Chubster then. I mean, Frosty's mediums are going to be... I mean, he's definitely pitting again. He's not making that to the end. But that's going to be an issue for Chubster, unless he can catch him on the straight. So Evan currently 23 off the lead. Josh 25. Grush getting ahead of Christian at the hairpin there. Chubster close to Frosty. He'll probably have him on the straight. Samurai's a choice now. Does he push to try and stick within 9 seconds of Evan? Because let's keep in mind, if Adam wins, Evan's second, Samurai third. Samurai and Evan will be level on points. Evan will retake the lead, though, because he has 2 wins to Samurai's 1. But that is Adam in, then. Frosty, 3 second for his 3rd penalty of the evening. Adam has put the medium tyres on. Eggy takes the lead. There's Adam. There's Evan. And Adam will exit the pit lane. It's close with Josh, but Josh should be ahead. So Adam has given up track position for fresher tyres. I don't blame him, because he'll be able to stick within 9 seconds of Evan. And that's Chubster getting past Frosty. Easy move for him. Now Adam needs to overtake Josh on the straight next lap. Hope he doesn't lose too much time. The gap between the two is 3 seconds. So as long as he doesn't get a 3... which should make the gap between them at the end 3, as that's Frosty left. So yeah, as long as he doesn't get a 3 second, he's looking alright. But you can see Josh is holding him up. The gap that was 3 between Evan and Adam, now 3.6. It's losing him time. Josh is going to have to pit soon. You can see that those mediums really wearing up. Look at that front left. Helping Samurai a little bit. Evan has got 9 seconds over Samurai now. Wow. Looks like Samurai might just be starting to just look after his tyres. Eggy's still out there in the lead, hoping for something. And I don't blame him, really. He's not going to really lose too much, as that's Adam getting past Josh with ease. I mean, they both blasted their battery there, but yeah. So Adam lost half a second, or 4/10 stuck behind Evan. So as long as he doesn't lose 5.5 seconds in 10 laps to Evan, he will get the win. As yeah, Evan's going to be stuck behind. Oh my god, that's a 4th penalty now for Evan. So yeah, as long as Adam doesn't lose nearly 10 seconds in 10 laps, he'll be fine. And I was going to say, Evan's stuck behind Eggy. He's not even going to wait until the straight. He's going to go round the outside of the Mercedes to retake the Grand Prix lead. And look at that, that's lost him a good second to Adam. Could Adam even catch up to Evan? Does he have the pace to win it on track? And, well, that brings Samurai again back into contention of beating Evan, as that's Grush getting past the ghosted car of Frosty, who will hopefully get back in and take control. You see, that's Chubbs. There it is. That's Chubster really closing in on Samurai. I know I'm going to assume Samurai's saving his tyres, but he needs to worry about the Mercedes closing in. Well, there's also the fact that Chubster might also wear his tyres out. I'm still so surprised they pitted that early. From lap 15 to 16. Adam, fastest lap of the race. Eggy, 20 laps. And he's going to try and go back at Evan into turn 1, but thinks better of it. Samurai ahead of Josh into the pit lane. And that's the McLaren and the Red Bull fighting around the final corner. Frosty. Did Frosty want to pit there? I don't know. But he's ahead now of Grush. And yeah, I guess it was wise from Eggy not to retake the lead there ahead of Evan. But look at that. That's allowed Adam right up to these guys. And now he's all over the back of Eggy. And he might overtake Eggy where Evan overtook Eggy on the last lap. And he's done it even before they get to the corner. 1.7 seconds now between these two. And yeah, I don't know what Eggy's really planning to just stay out as long as possible. He's got a big gap behind. He's going to be rapid at the end, hopefully, on softs or mediums. I don't actually know where he's going to come up. Probably around near Josh. Frosty's definitely going to have to pit again. So yeah, 12 seconds for Evan. That would put him right down to 5th at the moment. So Samurai and Chubster know they're fighting for a podium now. Chubster's back with now within a second of Samurai. And will Eggy decide now is the lap to pit? I don't really see the point in going any further. There we go. 20 laps on the hards. Don't speed. No one sped. All good. I'd assume he'd put the mediums on. But the softs isn't, the worst shout. But they are going to be dead by the end. Yep, there we go. Mediums. Eggy should be fine. And look at this. Chubster closing up to Samurai. Putting him under pressure. Chubster's had P2 and a DNF so far. And that is a 3 second as well. In the dirty air. As that's Frosty Life under pressure from Grush. Who gets ahead into turn 1. So, the dirty air from Samurai has helped him out, because now he can just allow Chubster a bit more leniency, because he knows he's going to beat him now, as long as he doesn't get a 3 second. So yeah, looking not too bad for Samurai. I'd still assume Evan's going to finish 12 plus seconds ahead of Samurai, considering the gap is 11 seconds at the moment. So Evan should, even with 12 seconds apiece, still finish second. But Adam is there to spoil the party for the Aston Martin. Samurai won the opening race. Evan, who won round 2 and 3. Wait, no he didn't. But yeah, he did. Yeah, Samurai won the opening race. Evan, who won round 2 and 3. Kobe, who won round 4. And now at round 5, it's going to be a 4th different winner out of 5 with Adam. And look at that, he's gaining. He wants to win this on track. Bluey with a 2nd time penalty of the evening. And now we're going to see a fight for the win. We know Adam doesn't really need to try too many risks. Chubster ahead of Samurai. Now he's going to try and gap him by 3 seconds in 7 laps. Don't know if that's doable. But yeah, really good drive from Chubster, by the way. He's got a lot of pace today, which is great to see. And for the 3rd lap in a row, Grush versus Frosty Life. Frosty around the outside gives Grush the space. the most experienced driver in the field and in the history of Tier 2, fighting with one of the most inexperienced. Slight contact, good battle though between them, and Grush back ahead. I'm sure Frosty would have been able to stay ahead, but his tyres must be screaming. Yeah, 9 laps on the mediums. They're towards the end of their life cycle. He's probably got maybe a good lap or 2 left, but I mean, surely he's not making it to the end. So Eggy came out in 7th. He's actually ahead of Josh on fresher tyres there. They're both going to beat Frosty, even if he doesn't pit. They might be able to catch up to Grush here. So Eggy and Josh fighting for 5th, it seems. And if there was a safety car, by the way, Evan would be screwed. Not as screwed as he is right now, though, because Adam is ahead of him now. Adam into the lead once again at the Qatar Grand Prix. He's driven tremendously well. Started 6th. Messed up his quali run that would have put him P2. All that doesn't matter now because he's in the lead with 7 laps to go. And he's driven incredibly well. And that's a lapped car. One of the RBs sticking with the leaders there. You can see all 4 of these guys are going to... By this time next lap, all 4 of them are going to be very close to one another. As long as Frosty doesn't pit. Fastest lap of the race does go to Adam at 23.8. He loves this track. Yeah, Qatar, which is going to conclude the triple night header, triple night race header from Bahrain to Saudi to Qatar. We're not going to have another night race for about 8, 9, 10 races in Singapore. And then obviously we'll have Vegas and then Abu Dhabi. But they're all separated. There we see all 3 of them. Grush will be hoping Frosty holds them up a little for his sake. Samurai is stuck with Chubster pretty well. The gap is pretty much now 12 seconds between him and Evan. Evan looking for the move to the inside. Not close enough for a pass on Adam. What about Samurai? Bit too far behind as the battles are boiling up. And will Frosty come into the pit lane? No, he's just going to pull to the right. Bluey's out in the pit lane, so that does confirm the 10 left. Whoa, will be the 10 scoring points. And Frosty sitting duck on the straight without DRS. Loses a place to Eggy and Josh. I mean, Frosty has 27 seconds behind him to pit. So, with 9 seconds. So, he may as well get in the pits at the end of this lap. And come home for P8. And that's Josh now with a penalty. So, that's going to help Eggy's chances of getting 5th. Considering he also has fresher tyres. But Josh all over the back of the Mercedes there. It's been an interesting race for a few of them. They're going to catch Grush pretty well. Look at that 5 lap fresher tyres. Evan closing in on Adam. He's trying to break the slipstream. He goes to the inside to go defensive. Can Evan go around the outside? The 2 leaders in the Qatar Grand Prix. Close. But Evan not close enough, but he spins into the gravel. For Evan, big mistake from the Aston Martin who resets the track. And that's going to lose him a heap of time. And crucially, as Chubster and Samurai are fighting, they're going to get back within 12 seconds of Evan. And that's Samurai losing out to Chubster. But look at that, they're well back within 12 seconds. Samurai all over the back of Chubster. And they stay how they are. Big mistake from Evan. Really on the limit there. He tried to get past Adam. And then on the exit, maybe with the dirty air at turn 1, just showing how much of an effect it has there. Big spin for Evan. That's really not going to help his tyres either. So now Samurai is 8 seconds behind Evan with 4 laps to go. Evan needs to be 1 second a lap quicker. And, well, now it's a lot more than that. 15 seconds for Evan now. Ah. So unfortunate for Evan there. it was going to be a pretty fun fight between Adam and Evan, even if it didn't really mean much. But now that's pretty much secured Adam the win, and this time next lap it pretty much will, without the chance of safety car. Adam, little bit of a wiggle there on the straight, little bit of weaving. Maybe he knows now he's definitely got this in the bag. I think Evan's priority now is to be trying to get this home. And out of all this, Samurai could still finish second here and extend his championship lead. Incredible. And now I think it's time for Grush to probably drop down to 7th. He's blasting his battery. Eggy's up to 5th. Here comes Josh as well. Oh, but Josh has no battery himself, so maybe Grush will hang on just about. But Eggy, I mean, 5th after the race today, I think he'll take. It's been not the greatest race for him, but to still walk away with 5th will be pretty good as the two McLarens swap. As Grush is going to be under pressure from Josh. If anything, Josh needs to clear Grush soon because he still needs to gap him by 3 seconds. Otherwise, he's not going to get 6th. Samurai now over a second behind Chubster. Just needs to make sure he doesn't lose 2 more. And, well, Evan's still going to push. But, yeah, I mean, these guys... 18, 7... I mean, it's 10 between him and Chubster. So the podium will be Adam. Look at that, he's weaving with 3 laps to go. I'd say don't get complacent, but really, what on earth is really going to stop him from winning this race besides his own error? Oh, and that's a second. I think that confirms that Josh will be P7 in this race. But he's close to Grush. Oh, Josh is pitting. So maybe he's going to go for fastest lap. Of the Grand Prix. Looks like he'll pit for soft compound tyres. Try and take it away. I mean, it's currently to Adam. Frosty, I think, was trying to go for it, but Frosty pitted onto mediums. Josh is putting the soft compound tyres on. There's no threat from behind. He's got the same penalties or less than others. Frosty does take the fastest lap away, actually. Just about ahead of Adam. Nathan gets a penalty. It's going to be close between Frosty and Josh, but Josh should have it. But Frosty, on much warmer tyres, goes soaring round the outside. What a move from Frosty. Covers off any sort of switchback for Josh. And now Josh can either use this to his advantage of DRS when starting his fastest lap attempt, or he can have it on with Frosty and fight him. Right now, that's not a case. Oh! Adam! Adam has spun! Round the final corner, Evan retakes the lead with 2 to go. It's obviously not going to matter. But that's a bit of a wake-up call to not get complacent. So the top 2 have both had a spin. Look at that front left for Evan. Samurai! Oh, what? Samurai sped! Samurai's in the pits! Wait, what? Look at that front left. Wait, has Samurai got a puncture? Look at his front left, it's white. What is going on? I think Samurai's got a puncture. Oh my god, all happening on the last couple laps. Samurai has dropped to 6th and he's sped. That's going to make Eggy 4th. I was skeptical with these guys pitting so early. Would they make it to the end? And it looks like Samurai has not made it to the end. As that's, Josh who's going to try and now take fastest lap away. Oh dear. It was supposed to be P2 and extend his championship lead. But Samurai has had a puncture. Oh my god, that's a 6th penalty. Could Eggy get a podium? Maybe. I think he's lacking a couple seconds. Yeah, he is, unfortunately. 2 seconds. I've never seen that before. Samurai got a puncture and his tyre turned white. As that's a swap. That's Evan. Evan's got a puncture now as well. As we head on to the final lap. The top 2 in the World Championship have both had punctures in the last few laps. And it's going to see none of them on the podium. Incredible. Unbelievable scenes at the moment. Evan can't even go for fastest lap attempt because he's pitted on the last lap. There's Grush, who's going to get P4 at the moment. It's going to be a double Mercedes podium. Incredible. Samurai might be able to fight for fastest lap. I'm sure Josh will probably try and get it now. He'll cross the line. It's a 23.5. He does take it. Samurai's chance to at least salvage something. And Evan fighting away with Grush there. I mean, Grush doesn't really have to fight. Evan has 18 seconds of penalties. Unbelievable. Adam, who, like I said, disappointing qualifying. He made up for that in the first few laps with a commanding drive of overtakes. Took the lead. Got the strategy bang on. Ignoring one minor spin around the final corner. He's put his faith in his driving. And it's going to reward him with a victory. His third of his career. And probably the best so far. Adam, round the final corner, will cross the line. And it's the win at Qatar. Adam wins the Qatar Grand Prix. And round the final corner, it will be P2 once again for Chubster across the line. He's out of fuel, I think. But it's going to be a double Mercedes podium. Who expected this? Eggy, P3, right at the end there. And Evan, well, he's going to be P5. And if Samurai didn't get that 10 second, I think he actually still would have beaten Evan. But the top two in the championship are 5th and 6th. And Samurai didn't get the fastest lap, I don't think. I did not expect that. 5th and 6th. Wow. Josh will come across the line for 7th. Frosty, P8. Christian, P9. Nathan will be 10th for 10 points finishes in a row. And yeah, wow. If Samurai didn't speed, he would have gained 2 points on Evan. But instead, he's now lost 2 points on Evan. So the gap between them is 1 single point. Advantage Samurai, but it could have been a bit more. That's one of the... Without safety cars, that's one of the most chaotic ends to a race I've seen in a while. And it's ended with Adam. I think even throughout all that, we knew Adam was going to win. But the whole race we were expecting, was Evan going to get 2nd or 3rd or 4th? Or was Samurai going to get 2nd or 3rd? None of them. Mercedes. Wow. Punctures. I think that's one word to describe it. All at the end there. Yeah, not the race Evan was after, I'm sure. And same with Samurai, but it's the same thing with Yonder. Last week, or no, in Bahrain, 2 weeks ago, when he went to the pit lane, he got a puncture. He couldn't stop in time, and that gave him a 10-second for speeding. But I've never seen a puncture turn the colour of a tyre that wasn't white to white. Ooh, I don't think I'm going to be able to get all this. That's a no. Right, Adam, Chubster and Eggy. Hope you all enjoyed that race. That was very exciting at the end. Right, the top three will be joining the party now. Right, at the moment we have Chubster in the party. You there, mate?
Yeah.
And Adam's just joined. Have you included your audio?
Yeah.
Yeah. You there, Adam? Have you included your audio, mate? Alright. Usually takes Eggy a few minutes to jump onto Xbox. Right, we'll start off with our winner, Adam. Wow, I mean, what a race from you. So, qualifying didn't go your way, unfortunately, at the end. What was going to be at least a front row, you unfortunately invalidated right at the end and started 6th. What was going through your head when that happened?
I was a little bit annoyed by it, but I still thought I had the pace to challenge for the win.
Indeed. You had a great first few laps making your way, scything through the field and getting up into the lead. Evan obviously disconnecting helped a little, but I mean, he got 18 seconds of penalties in the end, so it didn't really matter too much. You controlled your strategy well. I would have done exactly what you did of pitting when you did, because everyone else just seemed to pit a bit too early. You had the pace. Obviously, you had the advantage of Evan's penalties. You had a nice little fight with him, and then he spun from your dirty air. At what point in the race did you not only think I could win, but think I will win?
Probably just after that happened, really, because I was quite far in the lead. And
Yeah. But I do have to ask, what happened on the final corner?
well, I was trying to challenge my fastest lap, and I put the battery on right as I was coming out the corner, not like having full traction done,
Oh my
and
god.
spun.
Well, you nearly just threw it all away there. It's like it's really hard to actually crash at Qatar, and you nearly found a way.
Just got happy there.
With a few laps to go. I do have to ask, what were your tyres at the end then, with that additional spin?
I think the last time I checked my front left was about 55.
Alright, fair. Because you were one of the last to pit. I think it was like lap 18 or 19, which is a proper lap to pit for this kind of race. When you're doing hard medium, everyone started on the hards apart from Josh. The one stop was definitely the way to go, like pretty much all the time. So yeah, that is P2 and now P1. So that's a very lovely haul of points for you. 43 to close up, as obviously the top two in the championship both got punctures in the last few laps and finished 5th and 6th. So that really does help your cause to gain on them quite a lot. So you won Qatar last season, and obviously because it's been moved up, only 7 races apart. There's just something about this place that you really like.
Yeah, sometimes I don't feel my pace is actually that strong around here, but clearly it is.
Yep. And out of your 3 race wins, obviously the first one fighting with Sombra all the way to the end of Brazil, and obviously winning Qatar last season as well, and today, which one has been the most satisfying?
Still Qatar last season.
Fair enough. Besides that, pretty faultless race besides the spin, but that's just a bit of showboating, because I saw you were weaving on the start-finish straight in the last few laps. I was like, calm down. You've still got 3 laps to go. But at that rate, you were pretty untouchable. I literally said the only person who can stop him is him, and then you spun. So, yeah, well done. And I'm pretty sure the next race is Imola. Just double checking. Yeah, it is. How are you around Imola?
It's one of my favourite tracks. I feel like I go quite a lot around there.
Oh, good. Did you do Imola last season?
I think I did.
Or did? Oh, okay. I don't remember where you finished, but anyway, as long as you're looking forward to it, that's good. So well done today. Very strong drive, and yeah, what could be a 2-way fight could maybe branch out to be a bit more than that. We shall see, as we're only a quarter of the way done. On to P2, Chubster. Wow, great drive from you, mate. Great pace. You qualified 4th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very close around that part of the grid. Solid start. You stuck with. We had to fend off Garouche for a while, and then you were closing in on Samurai. Fought him, got ahead. Good fighting with him. I caught when you got the 3 second in the dirty air behind him. That must have been a bit annoying. Just how did your race play out in your head? Like, how do you think it went?
It went alright. I'm still trying to get used to that dirty air and how to figure it out when I turn. It actually annoys me.
Yeah, fair. Obviously, in the end, the 3 second didn't change anything. Were you aware before you went into the pit lane that Samurai had a puncture?
No, I didn't even know punctures can happen, honestly, because every online game I've ever played, I've never seen a puncture happen.
It's, I think, when you hit not 70, it used to be 75. I think it's now 80 when you can get a puncture on the game, percentage wise.
Good to know.
Yeah. So what were your tires on at the end then?
61 front left, and I think like 50 on the back left. I don't remember the right. They're like maybe 35.
I mean, the front left is obviously always going to be the highest one around this track.
Yeah.
So that's really the only one you need to worry about. But yeah, what was looking certain for so long that Samurai would get second,
And I ran out of
obviously stay
fuel.
within three of you. Yeah, exactly. You ran out of fuel at the end. So you for most of it were looking maybe third or fourth at worst. Have ended up in P2 at the end. So that's P2 in Japan and P2 today. It was so unfortunate to see your race end right at the end in Saudi to lose, I think, 8 points.
I hate
But
that
besides
turn.
that, 30s. Yeah, I don't blame you. Quite a lot of people, unfortunately, got caught out by that one. But still, tremendous drive to get another podium. And it's a double podium for your team. So you must be very happy with that.
Yeah, I'm just tired of being P2.
Yeah, I get that. I think you and, Yonder or Ethan or whatnot, you and him, but before today, obviously had 5 podiums each. This is now your 6th podium. Because Eggy obviously got his win in Abu Dhabi, you two before today were level for the record of most podiums without a win, but now you're 6th, so you now lead it again. But I'm sure that first win is coming soon. It's like what tracks do you think this season do you think you have the best shot at? What tracks do you think you'll be good at?
Maybe Brazil or Australia?
We've had Australia, but okay.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
not
Brazil.
Australia, Austria. My bad.
Oh, Austria.
I'm not thinking.
Oh yeah,
that.
of course, Austria. You were good at Austria. Yeah, I remember that. Maybe. Well, Canada's not on the calendar, so you can't go from 9th to 2nd again, unfortunately. But yeah, Austria should be. Oh yeah, because I remember your first season, Austria was like the highlight for you. You were in the top 5 a lot. And
Yeah,
then last season was the same too, so that should be interesting.
I, re-
Okay.
I remember the moment I was falling back because someone rang the damn doorbell.
Oh, fair enough. But how are your thoughts on Imola next week?
I love that track, but it's just making sure not to get a time penalty.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because that's
So both
gonna rack
Adam,
all-time penalties for everybody, usually.
yeah, both Adam and Chubster looking forward to Imola. They both love the track. That's great. Track limit pens have been fixed a little for this game, so it's not as bad as last game. So I mean, as much as we'll still expect quite a lot of threes, not as many.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad in Qatar. I thought there was a bunch of times I got off
Yeah.
the track, but it was doing just fine.
Yeah, just about avoiding it and sticking within the confines. But yeah, that has been as oh, hang on, try and get Eggy in. Just try and quickly get Eggy in for a little talk as well, if he joins. I'll try and think of one more question. So Adam, you're on 43 points. Chubster, you're on 36. Meaning if you did finish Saudi, you two would be 1 point apart. Still, long way to go. There's Eggy. 72. 73. Right. So the leader's on 73 points, and you guys are around the 40, high 30 mark. So it's actually still pretty close. And Eggy, are you there, mate? Hello. Have you included your audio? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Well, who expected that? P3 in the end there, after all the chaos towards the final stages. It didn't look like the greatest race up until then for you, at least in the first stint. But then in each stint, it looked like you were just gaining more and more ground. So you qualified, was it 6th or 7th? Something like that. And then once everyone kind of just took their place and stay where they are. It just looked like, unfortunately, you were just lacking a little bit of pace to maybe Frosty Life and those and whatnot. Um, so what was the idea of staying out the longest of anyone to go 20 laps on the hards?
Yeah, well, I was hoping for a safety car maybe, but also the fact that I was just getting quicker and quicker, by lap
Oh, right.
18 or something like that. I was still doing personal bests and I got quicker and quicker. And yeah, I thought why not extend a bit and help me for the medium stint.
Wow, fair enough. And yeah, you obviously were in the lead at one point. You had a chance to overtake Evan into turn one to retake it, but why didn't you? Just didn't want to get involved, or?
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, fair enough. What were your? I do have to ask. What were your tires on at the end of the 20-lap stint on hards?
It was pretty okay, something like
Wow.
60.
So an average of 3 a lap.
Understand all the punches at the end.
Crazy. So you pitted for mediums to do the last 9 laps. Oh yeah. Obviously Chubb's got a 3-second. Adam, how many warnings did you get that race?
I had 2.
2.
And,
And
I had,
Eggy, how many did you get?
1 or 2.
Alright. Sorry, what were you
I
saying?
had 2 from before lap 10, so the whole race I was just
Oh,
trying
wow.
not to get a warning.
That's fair. I mean, Evan got 6 pens in the end, so even if you got 1 or even 2 or even 3, I think you were fine.
Yeah.
But so yeah, you pit onto mediums for the last 9 laps. It was quite the charge, fighting away with IGTC, Groosh, and Frosty. It looked, because a few of them had pens or a few of them were on different strategies, that you were gonna salvage 5th, which was a good I was gonna say after all that was a really solid result for you. And then all of a sudden, I pointed it out, like, you should not be pitting on lap 15 or 16, just past the halfway mark, from hards to mediums, because the mediums will just not, make it to the end. You need to pit on at the earliest lap 17, but 18, I think when Adam pitted, was the perfect lap. You stayed out a few more laps longer than I thought someone would, but you had the freshest tyres. So was it the same thing? Were you just getting quicker and quicker on the mediums as well?
I don't know about that, but I already had gained some pace on the hard, so I just kept with the flow,
And what was your reaction to seeing both, within the span of the last 2 laps, Samurai and Evan get punctures and realise, oh, I'm going to get a podium?
It was pretty crazy.
Mad.
1 and then 2nd.
Exactly. And then your teammate, Chubster, obviously running out of fuel at the end. So if you were a bit close, could have been a bit of a swap there with 2nd and 3rd. What was your fuel like? Was it fine or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always very high on fuel.
Ah, right. Adam, I'm guessing it was the same for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you must be happy with that. 2nd and 3rd for your team with Mercedes.
That's great.
Exactly. I think that's an 18th podium for you now, which definitely puts you up there. Oh yeah, final question. How are you feeling about Imola next week?
Probably a lot better than Qatar. So
Oh, good. So that's 3 out of 3. All of them looking positive for next week. For a double header at Italy, we go to Imola and then Monza. So that should be very fun. No Ferraris driving today, but I'm sure they'll definitely want to bounce back at their home race. As for today, the best constructor being the German team of Mercedes. So well done to Chubster. Well done to Eggy. Well done to Adam on a great win. And that's been the Qatar Grand Prix. We'll see you next time out for Imola.